Hey, welcome to the Social Space. This is the show all about Wichita Falls, Texas, the whole wide world. I'm Eric Crossland. That's my lower third.
There it is.
It'll be there later, not here live. To my left, she was gone last week.
I was.
Jackie's backy. 𝗀𝗄𝗄. We're so glad you're back, Jackie.
Thanks.
Where in the whole wide world were you last week?
Well, last week I was in Lubbock, Texas.
Wow.
We were working on, is that where I was? I
Yes.
think that's where I was.
That's where you were.
We actually talked about it on the show.
Okay. You know, a lot happens in a week in
do
this
a lot.
office. But we were in Lubbock, Texas with a really intelligent group on people that keep all of their Tennessee billboards 90% full at all times.
Oh, that's right. You were learning. You were doing the billboard stuff.
We were doing billboard stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
To your left, he does a lot of billboard stuff.
Yes,
Andrew
he
Bell.
does.
Yes.
Got a magic trick performed for him while he was running today
Dude,
at
it
lunch.
was so strange.
I was just in the whole parking lot and I hear his laugh. That's right. He's running by some guy doing a magic trick.
So funny.
There's a lot of interesting people downtown.
That's right. And then to my right, our first guest today,
Yes.
Dr. Sarah Langston. How you doing? Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Real
Glad to
quick,
be here.
Sarah, before we get to you, we got to thank our sponsors, News Channel 6, that's KAUZ. 10:35 Sunday nights is where this airs, but except for football now, we came on at 11:08 last night. Just
Well, that game,
Yeah.
there were a lot of great games last
flipped
night.
it on to try to watch this. I never try to watch, but I wanted to check something out, and Star Trek was on. That threw me for a loop. So we came on after, the news came on after Star Trek.
Yeah.
News Talk 1290, we air on the audio version right there. That's Town Square Media, 10 a.m. Saturday mornings. And then, of course, Tanya and Sean Cho, Impact Science at
Yes.
Falls Truck Center. They are another partner in crime. Okay, that all business is out of the way. Dr. Sarah Langston, you used to live here. You came back. You went away. You came back. Why did you decide to come back and start practicing sports med?
Awesome. Wichita Falls is really home to me. So my family's here, and then my husband's family is actually in Lubbock. So we kind of wanted to slow down a little bit and kind of get out of the race of DFW and be able to set roots down and have our kid grow up in a small town. So
Yep.
we were just ready to be back.
You should have gone by and visited her family.
I know, you exactly.
Now, word on the street tells us that you were a volleyball girl out at Old High, went off to college to play volleyball, then went into med school.
It was on the word on the street. It was the guy. That stopped Andrew.
That's right.
And then did all of that razzmatazz and came back to Wichita Falls.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back home.
I'm so
Number
happy.
one. Number two, sports medicine, huh?
Yes.
So tell us what a day looks like in your world.
Perfect. I mean, I'm pretty normal like everybody else. I have a kid and a husband, so we have to get them around and get them out of the house. But I go to work and I do a lot of pre-charting and go in and work from about 8 to 4 on most days. On the weekends, I try to cover a sideline football game or even on the weekends as well. And so we just try to, take day by day, and there it is.
So you'll go to a football game and sometimes treat the players if they get hurt?
Yeah. So
That's
I'll
awesome.
cover a lot of Thursday, Friday, Saturday games, and sometimes I'll even go up to Midwestern on Sundays for their athletic training room as well.
That's awesome.
So we know that United Regional has a great orthopedic team, Dr. Sheen and all those other people.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a part of that team?
Absolutely. So I have been a part of the Future in the Falls program since I was at the beginning of med school, and so I kind of always wanted to know, I wanted to come back here, and so I was so excited to be part of United Regional because they've been basically a part of me for such a long time. And so the group that I'm working with, they're phenomenal. So every time that basically I need help, they're always willing to answer those questions for me, especially if I have a question on diagnosis or anything like that. They're always, they're like my family. So.
Sheen and Schachter and all of those guys,
Yep.
no doubt. Now, you do non-surgical orthopedic assistance.
Yes.
So, what does that really mean when it comes to the average athlete?
Yeah, so I do anything from fracture management to musculoskeletal injuries to even arthritis treatments. So say, for example, we have, an 8-year-old that comes in with a radius fracture. I do anything from casting to splinting and getting them back into the swing of things. Other things I do are things like muscle strains and sprains, kind of coordinating the physical therapy when they should be back into play and kind of those treatment guidelines. And then arthritis in the elderly, I do injections. So things before you go to the replacements and surgery. So I do things like gel injections and steroid injections, and I can even use an ultrasound machine to help guide into the joint as well. So I've got a big breadth
Wow.
of stuff that I can do.
Is the ultrasound the one like it like shoots heat down in? I had to go to therapy when I had a pole vaulting injury in high school.
Oh, yeah.
It was just because like the knee you throw up to vault, I was just using too much.
Yeah.
And I had to go get that ultrasound thing. And
It uses sound waves, basically, and so it kind of helps us guide us into the joint on more difficult things like hip injections, and you can even use it for diagnostic things, including like rotator cuff tears or trying to visualize things without people who can't maybe get an MRI. So it has lots of uses.
if somebody were to get, let's say, a roller skating accident.
I know,
Yes.
that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Did I hear you say you were roller skating yesterday?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes. But by God, I got out there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How does it feel like going off and then coming back? Have you noticed that the city changed at all since you were gone, or?
I think it has in a lot of good ways. I mean, I think it's wonderful that we're getting 2 new schools and high schools, and kind of that's a big deal. And also just, I think all the small businesses has changed, and so it's just fun coming back to see all the people supporting them as well. And so it has, I mean, it's been about 10 years since I've been back. And
downtown for sure has to have changed since you were here.
It's a big difference.
Well, I commend United Regional for going after our local,
Yeah.
our local physicians that grew up here to say, come back home. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully that means we'll get to keep you forever.
That's right. Well, I'm here for the long haul, so.
Well, if somebody needed to get your services, needed to come see you, how would they go about doing that?
Well, I'm at United Regional Physician Group on 9th Street location, as well as at clinics in North Texas in the orthopedic section there as well. So it depends on the day of the week, but I'm in 2 locations.
Awesome. Well, was there anything else we wanted to cover? Anything we missed?
I think that's it.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to take a break. Thank you for being here. It's kind of a mix and match show today. No
Yes.
theme. We've got to have January come up next. She's going to there's this new, sorry, I'm drinking espresso today, Jack. If it sounds like my brain's going faster in my mouth, I don't know who put those on our desk earlier. Something just showed up on our desk and woo! All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back with January. We're going to talk about the WFISD Alumni Program. We'll be right back. Thanks for being here.
Four incredible radio stations. That's who we are. We are Town Square Media, and we bring the best of radio to the North Texas area. Wake up early with News Talk 1290. That's us. How about Kelly Raspberry on 92.9 NIN? Yep, that's us. Bringing you the best of country with 102.3 The Bull. That's us. And rocking it all day long with 106.3 The Buzz. That's us. We are Town Square Media, and we're proud to be a sponsor of the Social Space.
Welcome back to the Social Space, where I'm all hopped up on espresso. Hey, by the way, the Social Space. It's going to be like the Social Space. This is Matt Hamilton's fault. He showed me how to make an espresso right before the show. And I'm sweating over here. By the way, we forgot to introduce, we've got a new back of the head over here. We've got Juan over here, so you'll be seeing the back of his head for a while.
He's new to our team.
All right, so to my right here to talk about the WFISD Alumni Program, January Cadotte. Hey, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for, we've had you booked on the show for months and months.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
So, January, will you tell us about your role in WFISD?
Yes, so I'm the Community Partnerships Coordinator, which means all kinds of things, but specifically I'm over the Partners in Education Program, the WFISD Foundation, and now our new WFISD Alumni Program we just launched.
Brand new.
Brand new. Yeah, like 4 days old.
I know.
I think it's
Or Johnny
awesome.
on the spot.
I
Jackie.
know. So kind of what's the mission of this alumni organization?
Yeah, so our mission is to really just pay respect to the high schools, especially as we have, these high schools closing and opening new ones with their most recent bond. Keeping some of those traditions alive and joining a community amongst our community of ways to keep those, like I said, those alumni traditions alive, and just be able to do some cool things moving forward with helping with reunions and just keeping those communications going and keep people connecting.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Speaking of reunions, I have my 20th coming up.
Here's a WFISD alum right here.
Yes, so that's awesome.
January, why is this program important to our community and to the schools?
Yeah, well, our community loves traditions, and they love our traditions with our high schools for sure. And, the community did support us with passing these bonds, and which was, so important for our youth. But so now it's kind of our job to help keep those alive and keep some of those traditions going and pay respects to those high schools. I mean, Old High's been there for 100 years. Yeah. And so you don't just want those to go away overnight. And we need people to remain invested in our community, remain involved, and keep those things going. They don't have to just die down because the school is no longer there or that school is no longer Old High or Ryder.
Right.
Or Hirschi.
I don't think I ever realized that Booker T. Washington was a high school.
It was, and so many people didn't know. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's one of the schools that when you go onto our website, you can say that you graduated from Booker T. And we have all kinds of fun swag too that they can get for different membership levels.
Well, so when you say WFISD alumni, what's the definition of alumni?
Well, alumni, obviously, definitely somebody who graduated from one of the high schools, but it's more, this program is more than that. It's to alumni and friends. So honestly, it's anybody. You can join as an actual alumni person, but you can join as just anybody in the community. I mean, I didn't graduate from here, but of course, this is something I want to be a part of. I want to be able to help keep these traditions going and remain invested in my community and help the connectivity. I'm equally as involved whether I graduated here or not. So, and with those membership levels, people that didn't necessarily graduate from one of our high schools doesn't mean that they don't want involved in some of those membership levels. So gaining access to sporting events and fine arts events and a lifetime membership perhaps. So you've got to go check it out.
That is really great.
Awesome. Well,
Congratulations.
How do we go about becoming a member?
Yeah, it's just WFISD.net/alumni.
Easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
And you're saying, you have different levels of membership.
Yes, there's 4 different levels of membership. There's an entry level. So everybody can join for free to get access to the directory and communicate with one another, find people that you maybe graduated with a long time ago. And that's the purpose of that part. And then you can get more access to there. You can get in on a base level and get like a card decal from your school that you graduated from. We have another level that comes with the t-shirt as well as the decal. You get more access to the site as well to post alumni stories. So we have all kinds of different stories about previous graduates on there of what they've done. Some people that have gone to NASA and work from there now. And that's cool. Yeah, some really neat stuff. And then you'll also have access to submit news stories. If you want your reunion posted on our site, we can get that. We can help get that information out there for you. If you're struggling to reach other people that you graduated with, it's a great opportunity for us to get that information out there.
Man, Eric, I think we should crash Andrew's reunion.
Oh, let's do it. Just embarrassing.
Oh, man. I'm super pumped.
So you're going?
I don't know.
To go.
I've never gone to any of mine out of just laziness.
You didn't?
I haven't gone to any reunions just because I'm like, I've got to drive down to Waco. Put on a nice shirt.
No, it's always good to catch up with everybody that you went to school with.
Heck yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's just awesome, like you said, especially just because the schools are closing down. Since I moved here, I've noticed how much passion people have for these schools,
Yes, they do.
And so it's a really great way to keep all that alive.
Actually, I love to hear stories, not only about Old High, but I love to hear Ryder stories and Hirschi stories.
I know.
I mean, there's some good ones.
There's some great things to share out there.
Good legacy.
We don't want anybody forgetting, not that anybody would, but I think it's just part of our due diligence as well of keeping those traditions alive. So we couldn't be more excited.
Awesome. Anything we missed, January? Anything you want to get out there about the program?
I don't think so. Just get on there and join and become a member if you'd like. And like I said, there's some awesome things that they can snag while they're there.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we're gonna do one, maybe two Shepherd Speaks in the next.
Awesome.
They've been backing up, so we got some military minutes that.
And I love it. I got to say, I love it when we show some things from Shepherd. It's probably the one thing that people stop me is they always enjoy the fact that they know what's going on at Shepherd when we show.
I had a
Shout
guy
out to
just this
Ben.
weekend. Yeah,
Yes, and thanks
Benjamin
to
Remmer, who
Ben.
makes those.
Yes.
I had a guy literally this weekend tell me that was his favorite part of the show, the Shepherd
Yes.
Speaks. I'm like, well, what are my top leaders? Well, I'm going to have to go find some sort of downer. I don't know what being on crack is like, but I felt like this is it. So we appreciate
Get
you
you some
being
Benadryl, maybe?
Yeah, oh, that's what I need. So thank you so
So
much.
you don't want me to leave any more of those capsules on your desk?
I feel like you put one of your happy pills in here. Yeah. All right, so we appreciate you being here, and also thank you to Dr. Sarah Langston who was here
Yes.
earlier, and enjoy some Shepherd Speak, and we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Yes. Thank you.
This is a problem. That grind, that click, that constant leak. Whatever it is, you heard it last year, and you probably put it on your to-do list. Ah, the famous to-do list. Well, that list gets long, and so do the days. But your AC still needs a tune-up. You could wait for that first triple-digit degree day.
We're talking about consecutive days of triple-digit heat.
Or you could call...
James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing. This is Laura.
Hey, Laura, good to see you again. We don't like 102-degree weather, but we're climbing the ladder. We don't prefer hanging out in the crawl space, but we're down there chasing the lead. And we don't like when your AC has problems, but we like to fix them. James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
What's happening here today is the closure of a 30-year acquisition process. The process that starts an acquisition of a training aircraft such as what you see behind me begins with the schoolhouse submitting a request for requirement to lay out the needs for their curriculum, which was an HH-60. And this original submission was placed April 1991. The reason this particular request took so long is the retirement of the HH-60 is so far and few between. They've been reutilizing and modifying this aircraft so much over the years, there was not one that came available that the schoolhouse could use. We had been offered a couple over the time that was crashed or otherwise damaged beyond usability even for the schoolhouse. This asset will actually be used for potentially multiple courses. Although it was originally requested for ammo and armament, we are coordinating with the other training groups for co-utilization so that we could make the most out of this asset.
Well, the significance of having our HH-60 is it's going to better our training overall. It's going to allow the airmen to understand how the gun systems and the weapon systems specifically on the aircraft function and look as far as routing and magazine capacity go. It's also going to better the hands-on and that visual aspect that we don't get to see with what we have in place right now. We're going to have the electronic systems that we can do our testing off of, the ability to spin the gun, systems being 𝗀𝗄 and their 𝗀18, being able to actually operate those weapon systems to display the form and function of the weapon systems that they should be. It's a huge improvement to our training.
Ready Eagle is a week-long medical readiness activity. It takes place across the entire Air Force. At each base, we focus on the MCRP teams, that's the Medical Contingency Response Plan teams, and they're responding to a variety of challenges. We train early in the week, and then by the end of the week, the Med Group personnel are demonstrating their capability.
So we had our decon team set up. That set up a tent for decontamination. So anyone that came through who's decontaminated, they would work through their process. We also had our clinical team out there, aiding to patients, treating patients. We had providers, we had technicians, we had triage, who was triaging the patients, so taking them in. We had manpower and security, making sure that our facility was good, or was locked down, and also helping out with any transportation of patients. There was a number of teams activated to respond to a disaster.
The teams at Shepherd got to practice all week, and by the end of the week they were ready to go. They would have saved a lot of lives here today with their performance. In most disasters, we might not be able to save everybody, but we saw that Team Shepherd do a great job. The 82nd Med Group definitely, I think the training paid off and the performance was outstanding.